legendary star of screens big and small. She is one of the most...
Under the blinding lights of Hollywood, few faces are as instantly recognizable as Jennifer Aniston's. The effortless charm, the radiant smile, the laughter that once echoed through living rooms across the world. But behind that smile lies a story that Hollywood rarely tells, one shaped by heartbreak, rejection, and the relentless weight of fame. Before she became the world's favorite Rachel Green, Jennifer was just a young girl growing up in a fractured home, watching her parents' marriage fall apart, and quietly promising herself that she would never let failure define her. Fame would give her everything, and take even more in return. It would make her America's sweetheart, then tabloid prey. She would love publicly, lose painfully, and rise again with the quiet strength of a woman who refused to be broken. This is not the story of a sitcom star. It's the story of resilience, of a woman who turned pain into grace, and grace into power. How did Jennifer Aniston go from heartbreak to Hollywood royalty? And what did it cost her? Jennifer Joanna Aniston was born on February 11, 1969, in Sherman Oaks, California, right in the heart of Hollywood. Her father, John Aniston, was a recognizable face on daytime television, and her mother, Nancy Dow, was a model and actress. From the outside, it looked like a golden Hollywood family. But behind closed doors, the picture was far from perfect. Jennifer grew up watching two worlds collide, the glamour of fame and the ache of emotional distance. When her parents' marriage began to crumble, so did her sense of safety. At just 9 years old, she watched her father walk out of their home, leaving her and her mother behind. The laughter that once filled their living room turned into silence. Her mother, known for her strictness and sharp criticism, became both her teacher and her harshest judge. Jennifer would later reveal that her mother's obsession with appearance left deep scars on her self-esteem. "She was very critical," she once said, "which makes you think you're not enough." To escape the tension, young Jennifer found refuge in creativity. At school, she discovered art and acting, places where she could finally express what she couldn't say at home. By the time she attended New York's Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art, she had already made a decision. If the world around her was broken, she would build her own through performance. That quiet promise, born out of loneliness, became the fire that would guide her for decades. Long before the cameras loved her, Jennifer learned to perform not just for applause, but for survival. When Jennifer Aniston graduated from LaGuardia High School in New York, she packed her dreams and her doubts and moved to Los Angeles, the city where fame was born and dreams often died. Hollywood, however, wasn't waiting for her. She auditioned for sitcoms, commercials, and pilot shows that never made it past a single season. Malloy, Ferris Bueller, The Edge. Each one canceled, one after another. For years, she bounced between rejection and rent checks, taking waitressing jobs just to keep the lights on. Her talent was undeniable, but her confidence was fragile. Casting directors told her she wasn't fit for TV, that her look was too ordinary. Each no cut deep, but she refused to quit. Then, in 1994, a simple audition changed everything. NBC was developing a new sitcom about 6 friends in New York, a show called Friends Like Us. Jennifer walked into the room, exhausted and unsure, and read for the part of Rachel Green, a spoiled, funny, heartbreakingly human runaway bride. The producers saw something electric. Warmth, humor, and vulnerability colliding in one breath. When she walked out, one of them whispered, "That's Rachel." She didn't know it yet, but that day would divide her life into 2 eras: before Friends and after Friends. The girl no one believed in was about to become the woman the whole world couldn't stop watching. The year was 1994. Television was changing, and so was Jennifer Aniston's life. When Friends premiered on NBC, it was supposed to be just another sitcom. 6 young strangers in a Manhattan apartment talking about love, work, and coffee. But within weeks, the world was obsessed. The chemistry was magic. And at the center of it all was Jennifer, playing Rachel Green with a mix of humor, vulnerability, and effortless charm. Audiences didn't just watch Rachel, they became her. Her hairstyle, the Rachel, exploded into a global trend. Women everywhere walked into salons asking for that Aniston look. Every joke, every tear, every sarcastic line she delivered felt real, because it came from a place that was real. By the second season, Jennifer was earning awards, fame, and a paycheck that made her one of the highest-paid actresses on television. She won an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and the admiration of millions. The girl who once waited tables was now America's sweetheart. But behind the laughter of the live audience, the pressure was growing. She worked long hours, lived under constant media scrutiny, and carried the weight of perfection on her shoulders. The fame that had once felt like freedom began to feel like a cage. Off-screen, Jennifer and her co-stars became household names. Yet their private lives became open season for tabloids. Every date, every rumor, every crack in a smile became front-page news. Still, Jennifer kept shining. She brought depth to comedy, heart to glamour, and grace to chaos. She wasn't just an actress anymore. She was a cultural phenomenon. As Friends entered its golden years, Jennifer stood at the top of the world. But in Hollywood, every rise comes with a shadow, and the higher she climbed, the harder the fall would be. By the late 1990s, Jennifer Aniston wasn't just famous. She was everywhere. Her face adorned magazine covers, her laughter echoed in living rooms, and her name became synonymous with success. She had conquered television, become a fashion icon, and earned a place among Hollywood's elite. And then came Brad Pitt, Hollywood's golden boy. When they met in 1998, the world collectively sighed. It was the fairy tale everyone wanted to believe in. Two impossibly beautiful people, deeply in love, living the dream. Their wedding in Malibu in 2000 was pure Hollywood fantasy. White flowers, ocean breeze, and fireworks lighting up the night sky. For a brief moment, it felt like perfection. Jennifer and Brad became the power couple of a generation. Flawless, glamorous, untouchable. Behind the cameras, Friends was still a cultural juggernaut, and Jennifer was its beating heart. She had everything she once dreamed of: fame, fortune, and love. But fame has a way of turning dreams into illusions. The paparazzi never stopped. The pressure to stay perfect, to stay America's sweetheart, grew unbearable. Jennifer began to crave something quieter, something real. In interviews, she spoke about family, about slowing down. But in the machine of Hollywood, slowing down meant falling behind. As Friends neared its final season, she was at the peak of her power, and unknowingly standing on the edge of heartbreak. Because soon, a single movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, would set off one of the most talked-about scandals in entertainment history and shatter the image of the perfect Hollywood love story. The Golden Girl was about to face her darkest chapter. In 2005, Hollywood's most beloved couple fell apart, and the world watched every painful second. Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt announced their separation after 5 years of marriage. Almost immediately, the tabloids had a new obsession. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the film where Brad met Angelina Jolie. Photos of their chemistry on set flooded every magazine stand. It wasn't just a divorce. It was a spectacle. Jennifer became the face of heartbreak, the woman left behind. The media painted her as the victim, the sad heroine, the ex-wife the world needed to pity. Every interview, every red carpet moment, every expression on her face was dissected for meaning. Behind the headlines, Jennifer was quietly falling apart. She retreated into her home, surrounded by close friends, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, her friend's family, who shielded her from the noise. But the pain was real. She had loved deeply and lost publicly, and in a city that feeds on perfection, grief felt like failure. When asked about the rumors, Jennifer answered with grace, "No one did anything wrong. Sometimes things fall apart so better things can fall together." Still, the press refused to let her heal. Every new photo of Brad and Angelina became another cut, another headline. It was as if the world couldn't look away from her pain. But something remarkable happened. Instead of disappearing, Jennifer endured. She showed up, to work, to premieres, to life. She smiled not because she was okay, but because she refused to be destroyed. In the storm's aftermath, she transformed pain into quiet strength. Hollywood tried to define her by loss, but she was already rewriting her story. The world had seen her broken. Now it was about to see her rise. After the heartbreak, the world expected Jennifer Aniston to fade, to become a relic of the past, a symbol of a failed fairy tale. But that's not who she was. While the tabloids searched for tears, Jennifer quietly went back to work. In 2006, she starred in The Breakup, a romantic drama whose title felt like fate. But the irony wasn't lost on her. She turned personal pain into professional fire. The movie became a hit, proving that audiences still loved her. Not as part of a couple, but as herself. Then came The Good Girl, Marley and Me, and Cake, roles that showed her depth beyond comedy, revealing the raw, aching soul beneath the Hollywood glow. She took control of her narrative, launching her own production company, building businesses, and advocating for authenticity over perfection. No longer Rachel Green, no longer Brad's ex-wife. She became Jennifer Aniston, a woman who had walked through hell and came out radiant. She spoke openly about the importance of self-love, of choosing peace over comparison. "I don't have to be married or have children to be complete," she told one interviewer. "I am enough, as I am." For millions of women watching her journey, that message resonated deeply. She had turned public pain into private wisdom, and Hollywood began to see her not as a symbol of heartbreak, but of healing. Her smile had changed. It wasn't the smile of innocence anymore. It was the smile of someone who had faced the storm and learned to dance in the rain. 3 decades after her first audition, Jennifer Aniston remains one of the most recognizable and respected figures in entertainment. But her legacy is not built on awards or box office numbers. It's built on resilience, authenticity, and the quiet revolution she led without ever shouting. She proved that a woman's worth in Hollywood doesn't expire with age or relationship status. At 50, she starred in The Morning Show, a powerful drama about truth, media, and survival, and delivered one of the most acclaimed performances of her career. She didn't just age gracefully, she aged defiantly. In a world obsessed with youth, Jennifer showed that strength and vulnerability can coexist beautifully. Her influence rippled far beyond the screen. From her philanthropic work supporting St. Jude's Children's Hospital and cancer research, to her advocacy for women's rights and mental health, she used her platform not for spectacle, but for substance. In interviews, she often laughs when asked about being America's sweetheart. If that means being kind, strong, and a little messy, I'll take it. Generations of women grew up with her, not just watching her fall in love or make jokes on screen, but watching her endure. Through laughter, loss, and reinvention, she became a mirror of modern womanhood, flawed, resilient, radiant. Her real legacy isn't Rachel Green or The Morning Show. It's the message she leaves behind. That beauty fades, fame changes, but grace, the kind earned through pain and courage, never goes out of style. From a little girl hiding in the shadows of a broken home, to the woman who lit up millions of screens, Jennifer Aniston's story is not one of luck. It's one of perseverance, courage, and grace under fire. She has lived through the glare of fame, the pain of heartbreak, and the silence of healing. And still, she smiles. Not the innocent smile of Rachel Green, but the knowing smile of a woman who has found peace within herself. Jennifer Aniston didn't just survive Hollywood. She redefined what it means to shine, with humor, honesty, and heart, because in the end, true beauty isn't in the spotlight. It's in the strength to stand when the lights go out. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us, whose rise and fall should we uncover next?